Hello. Over the years, I've had multiple people who have shown me what leadership is and, most importantly, what leadership is not. I believe that people who have displayed an inaccurate picture of leadership are the ones who truly are not aware of the definition of leadership and all the responsibility it includes. For example, in 8th grade, I had a tennis coach who was obviously caught up in other things and continuously let me down. Although I was getting better and would continuously receive praise from my coach and from all my improvements as a player, he forgot what being a coach truly meant and stood for. He would show up late to all of my private lessons, forget to sign me up for different rounds of various tournaments, as well as not let me play in tournaments too far away from hometown, and fear him not being able to go, even though I did want to go. This is only a few of the several things he did wrong. Ultimately, I believe that he needed a lesson or two on what a leadership entailed. This is why I have decided to start off with my definition of leadership. Leadership is a cycle of motivating and inspiring others to follow a set goal in ways that moves them to embody the same vision as you. Just like a house needs a solid foundation to be built on, I believe that leadership needs a firm understanding and solid ground for leading others from. It is impossible to lead others when you're going back and forth between your own beliefs and ideas. Although my coach would applaud me, he lacked in the area of moving me to stride towards a mutual vision. This leads me to my first value in leadership. I will guarantee my team members equal opportunities by promoting an environment open to ideas and beliefs. Without my own opinions expressed, I felt like I was repressed and my thoughts were useless. It was hard to embody goals because I felt like they were his and not actually mine. As a leader, I swear by allowing an open environment free of judgment and free of criticism. Every team member needs to feel as if they are respected and a part of every team's direction. This being said, the team's direction has the potential for change. I welcome and appreciate change because it is the motivation behind any goal. It is the leader's job to respect the transition or changes in the team's direction to allow the membership's maximum opportunities and happiness. This value is what makes leaving my middle school tennis coach behind so easy. I lacked all motivation to conquer his goals, so I set out to conquer my own. For once, I needed to feel appreciated and respected as a player. This taught me the important value of appreciating others on your own team or peers working under you. Although it's often difficult to agree 100% of the time, it's completely necessary to welcome their ideas and ultimately welcome any alterations they bring, although they might be a little bit scary. I believe, despite ever taking on intimidating goals, I'll be brave when striving towards objectives and cheer my teammates on to do the same. When my high school coach told me he wanted me to place in the top 3 for varsity girls doubles, my jaw dropped. At that point, I truly considered his sanity. However, after some wishful thinking, I realized that if my goal isn't scary, it's not big enough. I cheered on my teammate for weeks, and she did the same to me. We were not only placed at finals 3rd, but we also were voted most improved doubles team of the season. My new coach has instilled a new sense of motivation in me, and with all of this, I was able to push myself harder than I had ever before without letting the mistakes get me down. I believe that mistakes are a constructive learning tool that should not be taken for granted. When I had been playing bad days or hit a ball over the fence and hit a car or two, I took it all in stride. I realized that the mistakes were made, but I just fixed them. As a leader, mistakes are always more constructive than accomplishments for me. Although it's nice to have an end reward, if you continue to remind yourself and others that if you wait for the reward, it'll be worth the wait. Half the time, I found that your mentality and outlook of your journey to a goal is the one thing that allows you to reach the end or causes you to fail. Personally, I found that at the end of the road, my approach and attitude is what mattered and improved the most. I encourage personal and professional development in not only my teammates, but also in myself, so that we can grow into a better version of ourselves. I find this value of leadership to speak to me the most. Through the ups and downs of the personal pursuit of a goal, it's crucial to take something away from these lessons. We need to understand these lessons are there for a reason and not to be taken to heart. Even if these lessons change an outlook or two in life, you'll be able to look back and see you took full advantage of the journey you had to offer. By seeing both sides of things, you'll be able to agree that the goal is what you want, and you'll be able to disagree and make alterations if it's not. I believe people should allow these improvements to change in their ways and tactics of leading others. As I develop myself and mature, I am aware that the role of leadership changes with me. Leadership is a process and not a position. It needs to take change as I change and as my peers change. Again, this change should be looked at optimistically and confidently. At a certain point in your life, you might desire something completely different than you do from 10 years from now. It's pointless to pursue something you no longer want or need. For example, my middle school tennis teacher most certainly thought of leadership as a role and was unable to suit my needs due to the lack of trust in our leadership. I lead by example and am devoted to influencing others to do the same. Saying one thing while doing another is not only annoying but extremely shady. When leading, it's important to verbally communicate my directions, but it's also important to personally put my directions into action. For example, when I was told to show up on practice on time, but my coach was a half hour late, it was extremely disappointing. It's not only not fair to your teammates when you don't have to hold yourself to the high standards you want to hold them to, but it's just sad. When you're dependable, this develops a trusting relationship with you and your peers. In the end, this relationship allows your peers to embody the end goal and give them a sense of motivation and drive. Overall, all of these values were found through trial and error for me. Whether I saw my superiors make mistakes or whether I personally made the mistakes myself, I was able to see the wrong and make it right. Although these important leadership values are different from person to person, depending on what they believe and stand for, they ultimately in some way lead back to the same stem for the same basic concepts. No person, including me, is ever going to be a perfect leader, but at least with this philosophy filled out, it can help me effectively lead on a solid foundation. Thank you.